Mark Doody here again for episode 6 of the She-Hulk.
Yes, it's a self-contained wedding episode.
It's the wedding episode. Oh, okay. Jen gets an invitation to be a bridesmaid in a very fancy box. Don't get me wrong, it's a very fancy bridesmaid box invitation thing. I've never seen one of them before, but you know. So this person obviously is making a big fancy wedding. Ooh, wait till we get to that one. Anyway, so she's talking to her assistant. She shows the assistant that she has a bridesmaid dress from the guy from the previous episode that makes the clothes. So he moaned about making a lawyer outfit, but he's quite happy to make a bridesmaid outfit. Of course he does. Okay. Then she goes, I haven't seen her since high school. So why the hell is she inviting her as a bridesmaid? That's the question. Maybe she wants clarity or clout. Because, you know, She-Hulk. I know the She-Hulk. More on this later. So, it's awful writing. Awful. So Jen gets invited to a wedding that she hasn't seen this person since high school. Wait till we get to this person. But anyway, she turns up at the wedding as She-Hulk in this dress. Bearing in mind he's made one dress. More for this later. So he's made one dress, this blue dress that she wears, and she turns up as She-Hulk. And basically, you know, everyone's like, wow, look at you, you're so great. Look at you, you're amazing, you're bomb, all this, right? So previous episodes we moaned about men judging women on their appearance, and all these women are stood there judging her on her appearance of how great she looks. So then she talks to the bride / groom, because it's a trans man. Fair enough. But anyway, moving on. She complains, why are you turning up as She-Hulk? Because this is my wedding. I want to be the one in with all the glitz and glory. Of course you do. Anyway, so, you know, she moans about it, and Jen is bitter.
Not everything is about you, Jennifer.
Why not? Jen's just a bitter woman, you know. So, Jen goes to the office where there's a white male called Mr. Immortal, and he's trying to get a divorce, right? So basically, he's got a load of women and he's trying to get divorced. Bigamy is a crime, but we're going to ignore that. So in order for him to get out of marriages, he kills himself, but he doesn't die. Don't know how this works. Don't really know, because, you know, whatever. Don't think about it, just consume. So he goes to proceed to tell him about how, you know, when he's finished with a relationship and he can't take any more because they complain about his pajamas. Why not? You know. And, you know, the assistant, who, I don't know what her name is, the assistant then, and the black lawyer woman then proceed to complain at him for wanting a divorce. Why not? So they're moaning at him, they're mocking him, and he's like, you're supposed to be on my side, you're supposed to be lawyers.
Oh, I thought that lawyers were supposed to not be judgmental.
No.
Because these are unprofessional lawyers. Again, they don't know how to write lawyers. So then he's listening to him waffle on and jumps out of a window. And that's how I feel watching this show. I just want to jump out of a window.
After any of the ends of switching ideas.
So then it cuts back to the wedding scene, and there's a woman asking here, Jen, sorry if you can hear the mosque in the background, there's nothing I can do about that. I live in Indonesia, so obviously call to prayer, and you'll hear that, and probably many of my videos. There's nothing I can do about that. So anyway, there's a woman that approaches Jen in the wedding, and she's asking her about, do you have a man and all this? And as she's doing that, and then the bride slash groom turns up to Jen and starts talking to her. And then basically Titania turns up and she's like, how did you get it? And she was like, oh, look, you know, I got a +1 because I'm dating this guy over here. Okay, why not? So Titania's whole plan is to turn up to a wedding where Jen is. For what reason? Don't know. How did she know she was at this wedding? Don't know. Don't think about it, just consume, because that's all this show is. So Jen moans, me, 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 me. You're only doing this because of me. Blah, 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 me, me, me.
To this wedding to mess with me. That is so obvious. Why does nobody else see that?
Right. Soul destroying, this show is absolutely soul destroying. So she goes out, she's sat on a bench eating nuts, right? And then a person of colour turns up, walks up to her and says, oh, she's like, did you get a +1? He was like, no, I intend to meet a woman sat here eating nuts. Okay, that's your plan, whatever. So, it's asking, are you here for the bride or groom? But they seem to be both grooms. But moving on from that, you know, asking about a +1 doesn't make sense. Then the bride walks up to Jen and says, the staff are mad at me because of how I'm treating them. They're all threatening to walk out. Well, how is this woman treating them? And they're being paid for a job, so you got to lump it really, unless, you know, they were in kind of physical danger or something. But don't think about it, just consume. And basically she then tells Jen, can you go around cleaning up and doing bits and bobs? And Jen's like, okay, why not? Yeah, so they torture Jen with basically ironing clothes for the men because the men messed up their clothes while gaming on their phones. Really? Then the groom turns up, and believe it or not, the groom is a dog. How progressive. So this trans wedding bride is marrying a dog. Well, that's very inclusive. Is that what you think of trans people? Again, double standards. If you're gonna do shit like this, make sure you do it properly and not humiliate a trans man by marrying him to a dog. And again, because it's a dog, they're trying to say that all men are dogs. Because, you know, this is a feminist show and it's man-hating, why not? So it then cuts back to the divorce scene, where they're all sat around in a meeting, right? Man, is this show bad. So they're sat having a meeting, right? And basically, you know, you look at all these people, he's been dating all these different people, he's Mr. Immortal, he doesn't die. There's got to be a massive age group. Most of them are there, right? One of them, they said at some point that one of them's dated him for 16 years, right? If you look at the age range of all these people, right? Mr. Immortal looks like an old man anyway, but you look at half of these people, so they're all pretty much the same age. Questions are raised, but don't think about it, just consume. I need to clip that just to add that into every video that I do of She-Hulk, because it seems to be a running theme with this. So then they were like, well, how did you discover that Mr. Immortal was dating different people and all this, yeah? So basically the one woman went on a website, a man-hating website, why not, of course, as you do. You know, any normal woman does that, goes on a man-hating website to find out and shame this man. Why not? She-Hulk. We've got to shame every man, every white man anyway. And basically then they realize that he created a bunch of fake IDs, and they all huddle up and like, you didn't tell us about the fake IDs. This is a criminal lawsuit if they can push for that. Why didn't any of them do this? Don't know. But anyway, it's just dumb. So then, all the women are happy, and the black woman then turns to Mr. Immortal and is like, ha, you know, he's like, why are you so happy? And she's like, because, you know, I'm getting a kick out of this. You know what I mean? So she's torturing her client. Great job.
You're gonna have to pay. Why are you smiling?
As you do. I don't know who ever uses this law firm, because they seem to just mock every male going, and it's like, why would you go and use these as your lawyer firm? They can't have good reviews, you know what I mean? So anyway, we go back to the wedding. We've got a DJ. It's Chad, or Ched, Cheddar. Bloody God knows what his name is.
It's your boy, DJ Cheddar.
Why is he there? Why is he the DJ? I thought he run a franchise business. Don't know. This guy seems to be a wheeler and dealer and does all sorts of different jobs for whatever the show needs him to do on this episode. And today he's a wedding DJ. So Jen does what she does best. Gets drunk, gets more drunk, and gets more drunk, and does some silly wedding dances, you know, the old cliche of weddings. Then it gets back to the divorce where they're doing the settlement. And I kid you not, right, this guy is however old he is, right? He's got gold, he's got stocks, he's got money. This guy is brimming with money. They don't want that. Do you know what they want? A sincere apology while looking into his eyes.
You are going to receive a sincere apology.
God. Why not? Why not? Then Mr. Immortal moans that he's got to do a sincere apology and look into their eyes. So they up it from 15 seconds to 20 seconds. Such punishment. Why? Don't know. Honestly, I can't believe this show is getting worse. And he's claiming that, you know, I knew this divorce would get ugly. What, for apologizing? Let's be honest, he was completely in the wrong. Anyway, Jen's drinking some more, why not? And a person of colour comes over, and drunk Jen compliments him, because, you know, he's not white, so you can compliment this guy. It's a running theme with this show. And Jen's like, me, I'm doing so wonderful. I came here to show me off because I am so great. Yet every episode you moan about how crappy your life is, and you get drunk constantly. And yet you're here trying to tell this guy while you're in a drunk state and you look miserable, how wonderful your life is. I am so great. Which conflicts to, you know, so much of the storyline that's in this episode and previous episodes. But why not? So then Jen's like, oh no, I'm gonna be sick. So she runs outside and throws up. Titania comes out, right? Bearing in mind that Jen is just a normal human when she's just in Jen form, gets punched in the face by Titania. Probably would have killed her if you had any sense of reality in this show, but obviously there's no sense of reality. Punches her in the face and there's not even a bruise, mark, or anything on her face. Okay. So then, Titania complains that because she's drunk, you know, I want a fair fight, change into She-Hulk. Notice the dress that she's wearing. It is not the dress that the tailor made for her as a bridesmaid. So this dress has not specifically been made to get from Jen form to She-Hulk form. Just remember that. So then Jen tries to change into She-Hulk, her shoes break off, which is kind of a thing to the first episode when she moans about, you know, the assistant said to her, take your shoes off in the courtroom. But anyway, she tries to change, her feet get big, and then basically she realizes, oh, I forgot. She's wrecking the place, but no, it'll be fine. It's a part of the episode, and it's a woman. Perfectly fine. So she punches her a few times, and she goes flying back. She stands up, and her clothes are all ripped, and she looks like trash. Then basically everyone's laughing at her. They pull out the phones and mocking how, you know, she's basically humiliated, and then she trips over an ice cube, and everyone's taking videos, and basically then Titania leaves, and she leaves in a huff and a puff, and basically everybody, you know, the bride then walks in, is like, yay, She-Hulk, I have She-Hulk at my wedding. Right, so when she first showed up as She-Hulk, she was hating the fact that she was She-Hulk. Now that the bride for some reason is drunk, well, you know, everything's fine. So then we go to the assistant and the black woman drinking. There seems to be a theme of this, that all the women in this show are just getting drunk all the time. And then basically the assistant gets, you know, you find out that the black woman's got a child and is married for 11 years for some reason. Why they threw that in there, don't know. So, you know, I suppose it's to show that she's a career woman and she's black, and, you know, everything's great because she's a career woman and she's very strong. You know what I mean? We didn't need that information. I could tell by how she acts and talks, she's a very strong character. She's a very strong female. We get it. Anyway, so the assistant gets a message about something to do with, I can't remember what the message was, and basically to look on a website. She looks on this website because this is what the assistant does, just looks at websites all day, and that seems to be her job, and to sit around watching people work, that seems to be her only job so far that I seem to see. But anyway, they find a website about people trying to, like, how to kill She-Hulk and all this, right? Why, don't know. But it all seems to be men trying to kill She-Hulk. Why? Because, what, you know, men are bad in this. Men are just bad. Bad all over. They just want to kill She-Hulk. Why? She-Hulk doesn't do anything. She-Hulk is useless as a lawyer. She's useless at She-Hulk. So what's the point? And the only person that She-Hulk has actually had a fight with is a couple of men for some reason that tried to take her DNA while she was in Hulk form. Why? Don't know. Moving on. And then basically the only person she seems to be fighting with all the time is Titania, and it's basically like a stupid woman cat fight thing. So again, what harm is She-Hulk doing? Is she like Iron Man, Spider-Man? No. You know, it's just pointless. Pointless. So anyway, the assistant's then driving home. Bearing in mind she's sat getting drunk, is now drink driving home. A woman working for a lawyer firm is now getting drunk and then drives home. Why not? Makes sense, that. So again, you know, in previous episode, the black woman's moaning about a DUI, how, you know, She-Hulk dresses stupid like a drunk person on a DUI at a court hearing, and basically here we go, showing themselves, getting drunk and driving home. Really, really good way to show people, you know, if this is like a kid, I don't even know who this show is for, but if it's for children, you're not exactly sending a good message. If it's for adults, again, you're not saying it's a very good message. But anyway, you know, so it cuts back to Jen and she's sharing fries. And we all know that Jen drops her knickers for anyone she shares fries with. Hence the dating episode where she dropped her pants for a guy because she's sharing fries. Then it goes to a lab scene where they've made a needle. Okay, don't know what the point of that is. I'm assuming that basically they're gonna try and get Jen's DNA because, you know, it's the same needle they used with the man fight with a couple of men trying to attack it and take her DNA, and they're using the same needle. Why? Don't know. They got 3 of them, but only one's got the pointy end on it. Why? Don't know. And that's the end of the show. What have we learned? Nothing. Entertaining? No. Garbage. This is how not to write a show. Oh, for my own sanity, I've watched 2 episodes in a row and it's just not good. Consistency is bad. Anyway, I want to watch a good show. I've got House of the Dragon to watch and I'm looking forward to that. It's really entertaining me. But anyway, that's the end of She-Hulk episode 6. If you like the video, please like, share and subscribe. Ta-da.